Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and this morning we are, well, I've got a pretty busy day. First thing I'm going to do this morning though is, well, I was going to say one thing, but it's another. I've got to take a battery out of a customer's vehicle that's parked down the block here and take it in to get charged because it's completely dead. And I've got a little 2-amp charger, but it wasn't charging, so I'm going to try and take it into AutoZone and see if they can get it to hold any charge. If not, then he's going to need a new battery. But, yeah, so we're going to do that. I'm going to get some paint for my wife's new CR-V. That's what this video is mostly going to be about, is getting that back on the road. And I've got a new fender. You saw in the previous video, I went to a junkyard and they didn't have any CR-Vs. The junkyards out here aren't very good. I was able to find a fender online for like 30 bucks. So I just went ahead and got that. And I'm going to give it the rattle can job. So I'll cut it and polish it with some wet sandpaper before I clear coat it. So it should be pretty good. It's just that one fender as well. You could I mean, I've seen people paint whole vehicles like that with the rattle can. If you do it right, it looks good. I'm no pro, but I'm going to, get it good enough and clear coat it so it can go on there and not look atrocious. My biggest thing is I'm just not going to put it on there with the primer because if you've ever seen a vehicle that has a primer quarter panel or something, it just looks disgusting after a few months. It just fades. So I'm just gonna, I want to get it painted, clear coated, so it's, there, and it's off the vehicle, so that's nice. I'll just paint it out in the shade since you're not supposed to rattle can in the sun. And we got a few more things going on my wife's vehicle today, so that's what this is going to be mostly about. We'll head over to the auto parts store and pick up some paint. All right, just got that battery dropped off and picked up some paint. I'll show it to you when we get home. So we'll head over there. All right, so here we are. I've got the paint stuff for this new fender. Again, I'm not worried about like perfection. So I just got the, well, this is perfect match anyways, but the original Honda blue here, just a generic color, a clear coat and a prepper. And I've got some sandpaper and I'm gonna do an oil change today for sure. There's probably a few other things I'll get done. Here's the fender over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it off. And then I'm gonna cut and wet sand this fender up with like an 800 grit. And then I'll go ahead and paint, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers of that blue on here with drying in between. Then I'll clear coat it, and then I'll cut the clear coat with a 1500 grit sandpaper to get that nice and clear. Probably about 3 to 5 coats of clear coat, and then I may touch up a few of just the sunspots on the car as well. Maybe not that, again, not super worried about it. Things don't really rust out bad here, so I've got that. I'm gonna pull the fender, the headlight. I've got new headlights for them both, but this one's actually pretty new anyways, so I think I'll just go ahead and replace it since I have both. And straighten out, there's this metal right here. Maybe a piece of the frame's bent, probably not, but I've got a little body kit and puller. So, again, perfection isn't the aim here, just good enough. So, but again, the body lines, I mean, maybe I haven't mentioned this, body lines are pretty close on here. This one's got a little bit of a raise on the hood here, so this one's down a little, but space wise, if you look straight down on it, it's pretty close, so it shouldn't be too hard to get right. And then we've got new tires already for it that we'll be getting put on in the next day or so. So that's the aim here. We're gonna go ahead and start with this fender. All right, so I've got my 800 grit sandpaper here. I'm just gonna go ahead and sand off this, a little bit of wet sand here on this fender. And then we'll dry it off and get ready to paint it blue. All right, now I'll wash this off and then dry it. And then I've actually got a cleaner as well, a prep spray that's gonna clean that. All right, we'll give that a few minutes to finish drying. And it's nice and cool this morning in the shade here, which is, I believe, what you want when you're painting. So once this dries, I'll get in one more rag and then just let it sit here for a few minutes and completely dry out. Then we'll paint it. And again, give it probably 5 to 8 coats. So it should be the majority of the morning this morning to get it painted. All right, I've got it up on this tire swing here. It should be about dry enough to start, especially once I hit it with the prep spray. And then I'll give it a few coats around the edges here, and then keep going down the middle, let it dry and give it a few coats. All right, I'm going to shake this up for a minute or two till this completely dries, and then we'll go ahead and get started. This would be one of those circumstances where having compressed air would be beneficial to make sure I get all the dust off, but I've kind of just been careful and tried to get all the little pieces I can see. All right, we're about ready. Here we go. Even strokes, start on one side, go all the way across, don't stop till you cross it. All right, the name of the game for me is just going to be doing it nice and thin coats, several of them, since I'm no pro at painting, but it's a little bit bluer now, which is what you would expect. The color is pretty dark, so it's going to be hard to see. But I can see some of the glimmer in there. It looks cool. Looks good. We'll let this dry for about 15-20 minutes and then come back. Probably just use this whole can. But we'll see. If I do like 5 to 8 coats and it's still halfway full, then I won't. But yeah, we'll see. All right, the side right here got nice and scratched, I guess, when it went down, whatever it hit. This is the only other place I think I'm going to touch up for right now. I've just got it cleaned up, so I'm just going to hit it with a couple of light coats and then clear coat it. I'm not even going to worry. Well, I'll probably polish up that clear coat just a little and maybe get the surrounding area a bit, but all right, that looks a lot better. I'll probably give that 1 or 2 coats. All right, well, that paint is drying on the tire swing over there. Before I put the next coat on, I'm gonna do the oil change on this. I'm gonna drain this, and then I'll check that. Maybe just go ahead and refill it at the same time. I'm also gonna take the time over here between spraying and everything to go ahead and start taking this fender off as well. Got my drain pan set up. I'm gonna go ahead and drain that oil. All right, it's a 17mm drain plug. Give this a little tap. Thanks. We're just getting this finished draining up here. I've got my drain plug all cleaned up. I tried to find my copper washers, but I can't find them right now. So I'm just going to reuse this washer and I'll replace it next time. And then we'll top it off. It takes like 3.7 quarts. So all right, there's that drain bolt back in, and we'll get the oil filter as well here real quick. I'll figure out where that's at. All right, so I've got the oil filter coming off. It was down here in the back. And we'll get the new one in. And always check to make sure that that gasket comes off the old one. You don't want to double gasket it or it'll leak all out. I know a couple people that have happened to, and one of them didn't notice, seized up his engine. If at the least, it's going to make a mess. So okay, hand tight's good. We'll top her off and then get her running and check the level after that. All right, it takes 3.67 cords, so I'm going to put 4 in it. We'll just give it a little bit extra. Should be fine. And I'm going to go ahead with high mileage synthetic since it's 200,000 miles, and then just go up to synthetic and keep it at that. That way I don't have to worry about changing the oil every 3,000 miles. Give it 5,000 to 7,000 miles between oil changes. Check our level there, halfway there. Check her once more. About another half of a quart. It's probably a third. Yeah, we'll just give her just a touch more and call it good. That's fine. Then we'll put this in the trunk and just keep it on hand in case we get low on oil at some point, if it's burning oil or anything. We'll start it up, make sure it's running good, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint that fender again and then hit that spot on the door once more over here. All right, it's looking nice and blue. It's going to take a few more coats, but we can do that. All right, that's 3 coats there. It's looking nice and blue. We'll give it probably about 5 more, probably about as much as this can has in it. All right, now that we've got the oil changed, I'm gonna take this fender off and start bending stuff, get these headlights out as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and take both sides out and see if what needs to be bent back into place. Relieved a little bit of pressure on that panel there. We can get something thin under there without scratching the door or anything. See if I can loose my hand. Nope. But I'll just put this 1/4" drive on there, since those are 1/4" drive sockets. There we go. It's probably the hardest one. There it is. There may be a few clips on the bottom side of this holding it on. Yeah, there's a 10mm there. A few more things. I'll remove this little fender cover thing here. Yeah, just a few things, and then should be ready to come out. Be right back with the right tools. Okay, I'm trying to take this off right now, this little runner, and I've probably got just a couple of screws. That one's actually a Torx, which I wasn't expecting, and that one is a little Phillips, probably a T2. So everything I'm using right now is coming from this toolkit from AutoZone, since people always ask what tools I'm using. The only thing I have in here that's additional is this little Titan 1/4" drive. Really just a bit driver, but it's nice and narrow, so rather than turn the tire, I can just stick this right in there and take that screw out, and it's super handy. So that's what I'm using over here. We'll get it out. I'll put a link for this little Titan bit driver in the description. The toolkit's from AutoZone though, so I have a toolkit that's comparable in the description you could find on Amazon. If not, this one, just know it came from AutoZone and it's not on Amazon. Alright, so I just got this plastic thing off. The only thing I'm probably going to have to find specific replacements for these clips if they're broken. They may actually not be broken, so that might be fine. This looks like everything's in shape, so I should be able to put it back together. And get this fender liner off. I think this fender's about ready to come off, so there may be a screw missing down here. I'll double check on the other one, but I imagine there probably is one more screw down here holding it on, and then it'll be ready to come off. All right, I've got this little plastic runner peeled back just enough to get this last bolt off. All right, this fender's ready to come off. Just kidding, one more bolt. There's one more bolt right here holding this on, this little bracket. It's already bent, so whatever. Well, I'll just unbend it with the new, when I put the new one on. All right, there's the old fender. Here's the damage we're looking at. Just a little bit of bent on this part of the body right here. Should be able to tap right out. I think that's about it. There's that, and then there's this little rail there. So I'll get, well, there's this plastic stuff rusted right here too. It's kind of just the air pickup for that intake. So I may find any one of those. I may just let it go. It just directs the air up into here, up into the air filter. So unless that's not the air filter. Let's see. Yeah, there's the filter, so no big deal. I know some like Ford Fiestas or something like that have the air filter actually down there, but this one isn't, so I may just leave that. All right, this is good to know. I was assuming I would just replace these bulbs since they've been out in the weather, and that one actually looks burned out later. But they are up behind this fender, so I'd probably have to pull the liner here and reach my hand up to replace those. So rather than do that, I'll get those bulbs before I put the fender back on, and that way I don't have to worry about digging my hand way up there to try and find them. or maybe it's easy enough to just pull the light out. Yeah, I think you can probably just pull the light out easy enough. Maybe I'll just pull the whole light to replace those in a minute, and I will put the fender on. We'll see. I've still got a bit of unbending to do, but all the way up to here, structural all the way to here, it just bent right down there, it looks like. So that's good news. All right, that was probably a bit wobbly, but here's that old light, pretty cracked up, but here's the extent of the damage to the vehicle. Pretty much isolated to right here, so it should be simple enough to kind of bend back out of place. I mean, into place. So that's got to come out to here, but I've got a little brass mallet. Probably going to do the majority of the work here since it just crumpled right there. It may not end up perfect. Again, I'm no body specialist, but probably get it bent back out enough for everything to tighten down and be just fine. I'll give you a closer look here. That's what it looks like. All right, so I've just been tapping on this for a bit. I've got my brass hammer, this slide hammer with a little hook on the end, just gently kind of working its way around, and it's coming out so far pretty good. It's almost straight. All right, I think I'm gonna call that good. It's probably good enough. I'll probably hit it with a can of clear coat so it doesn't rust out. Again, pretty much the only worry if I take it out of state or something, but straightened up okay. Again, I'm no body guy, so it is what it is. Let's see if I can straighten that up. I'll straighten this up, or I'll put the fender up on it first and see where it goes. And yeah, we'll spray that fender one more time, give it 10 more minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on. All right, here's the fender. Nice and blue, looks awesome, pretty smooth. I'm gonna clear coat it and then cut it. And it's about time for a new battery on this GoPro, but there it is. It's just drying for a few minutes before I hit it with some clear coat. And then we'll do that about 5 layers. This probably, I think, was about 5 layers, and then it ran out. So looks good to me. We're gonna clear coat it. All right, so we're about ready to go back together. I'm gonna hit it with a few more cans of clear coat, but I've got a few on it already. I'm gonna pull this light and we'll just replace it with this nice new one. That'll do it. Probably it for today. I think I have some windshield wipers coming in, so I may throw them on, but that's it. And then on my wife's Hyundai Accent on a road trip, the last road trip that we took, this front grille blew out somewhere in Colorado. So I've got a new one of those, and I'm gonna throw that in there, and we're gonna sell this bad boy. All right, so I've got the driver's headlight out as well. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. And then, yeah, a couple more coats of clear coat is what I'm waiting on that fender. I'll put the fender on first on that side, and then I'll put the headlight in. All right, that's quite the little ordeal to get to those blinkers, that blinker bulb. So yeah, weird design on that, but can't complain too much. All right, that's all tightened down. We'll get this fender done on the other side and then put the grill and bumper back together. All right, we've got both lights in. I can go ahead and put the grill back on, and then I've got to get that other bulb for this side. And it looks good. Get that other one plugged in, this one plugged in, and about one more coat of clear coat left. All right, I'm gonna put this front little diffuser on. What do they call this on a normal car? Grill. Use my long screwdriver since that's the one that's sitting here. Make sure it's pushed all the way up. Tight. Oops, wrong one. All right, got confused. These clips go on first down here, just little body clips. Pretty nice shape. Now the grill goes on. All right, now the screws up here go on. I'm gonna find my other screwdriver. But I've had a little bit of help out here this morning, if you couldn't notice. So that's always fun. Here's my other screwdriver. Yeah, obviously I already mentioned I have new tires. In the first video, which is the one that's out right now, a lot of people were saying you shouldn't run them with different tire tread since it can wear out the all-wheel drive components. It was just to get it home. So I've got the new tires. I'll be getting them put on here in a couple of days, and I'll be making a video about that. So I've got a pretty cool idea, but you may see that video before this one. Well, I'm not sure. And there's that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and polish these up. It looks okay, it looks pretty good. You can see in the sun, it's just not perfectly clear, so we'll wet sand this. And this is a 1500 grit sandpaper, so just lightly. I'm gonna just go over it, feel it smooth. All right, there's the door and the panel painted up. They've still got just like that dust on them, so I'm gonna wash it and then I've got to wax it. But they're both clear coated, painted. They look a lot better. That got rid of all those scratches down the body. Again, it looks okay right now just because there's that dust, but once I wash it and wax it, it'll look awesome. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that quarter panel on that fender here and get everything smacked together. Should be about another 20 minutes and it should be ready to roll. Then I'm gonna do the bumper. Probably later I'll get a heat gun and pop that out. And then there's a few cracks that I'm just gonna stitch together with some zip ties. So we'll go get that fender. All right, so I just got that fender set in there. I'm gonna tighten these bolts down just initially, and matches up okay. Not perfect, but okay. All right, this door should close fine now, shouldn't grab, let's see. Perfect. Body line's just a little off. Down here it almost touches, but pretty good. It doesn't touch, so good enough. Got the last bolt tightened on there, that front support. All we've got left is to hook this up in that little fender liner piece, but we've got these clips and I think I'll be able to reuse all of them. So I'm going to gently take all those out and then get the rest of the clips in place. All right, I should be able to reuse all these clips. So we will get this and that fender liner back on. Then we'll do the bumper probably a different day. Bend that out with a heat gun. Oh. This is Mommy's car.
This is Daddy's car.
No, this is Mommy's car.
Mommy's car.
Uh-huh.
How are you, Daddy?
Good. How are you, buddy? You want to tell everybody what we're doing? What are we doing?
One black on the wheel.
Oh, yep, a black wheel. Are we fixing Mommy's car?
Yeah, I am fixing my car.
Good job.
Oh, no, I like this.
You want to film for me? All right, we just got this other plastic piece on, and I'm missing a few body clips, so I'll go grab my box of body clips out of the big truck, the roadside rescue truck, and our wipers just showed up, so we'll put those on and call it a day. It's starting to get warm out here. All right, got the body clips here. Let's go put them on. All right, I've got that plastic back up with as many clips as I could get in there. There's like 2 holes that I didn't get the clips in. I'm gonna take it for a test drive, make sure it's not rubbing, because it was rubbing. You could see there before. You can see it's all the way in. And so I'll just take it for a drive down the street. The lines look okay. This is probably gonna come up a bit when I take that dent out, which I'll do later. And then probably gonna be zip tying a lot right here. Since those actually tore clean through, I'll just be drilling new holes and zip tying stuff together. But all in all, it's come out well so far. Here's the headlights. Lines are pretty clean. I did just throw them back together. I'm gonna worry about those. Both the bulbs were burned out. I found out these ones right here, so I'll just order new ones of those and worry about them later. And it shouldn't be too hard. All I have to do is undo a couple of clips on the fender liner and stick my hand up there. So it's not as big of a deal as I thought. That's it. Here's the new body panel. Pretty straight. We'll drop the hood down and look at that. And I do want to eventually unbend the corner of this hood as well, which I may or may not do right now. All right, I'm gonna worry about that later. I nicked on it a few times, but it's a little touchy, and I don't want him seeing me hit cars with hammers because he might think that's what you're supposed to do. So I'll take this on a test drive, probably grab some wax, come home, wax it, and just make sure everything feels good. All right, so I got some silicone blades because according to 𝐒𝐫𝐢𝐳𝐵, that's the bee's knees. But I believe them. I put them on a few of my vehicles and they do last a long time. Plus they leave a coating of silicone on the windshield that helps the water bead up. So I won't subject y'all to watch me do this the whole time, but I'm gonna throw them on real quick. All right, those wiper blades are installed. The one for the back isn't here yet. I think it comes tomorrow. And yeah, we'll go grab that wax. All right, so far it's running great, driving good. It's not scratching that plastic. Everything looks great. It smells like tires in here because I got those new tires in the back, which I love that smell. My dad used to work at Firestone when I was growing up. And yeah, so we'll grab that wax and that'll end up the video for today. It's getting kind of long. I'm sure this is quite the lengthy video. All right, I just got some wax put on there lightly. I'll finish rubbing it in, but after talking to a buddy who's pretty good at painting stuff, I think I probably just went a little too light on the clear coat. At the end, it's supposed to get kind of heavy to get that gloss on it. So I may clear coat it again later, but for right now, it's clear coated and waxed, so I'm not too worried about it fading. And that's my biggest worry. So it matched up pretty well. And that's it. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Ernest. Thanks for watching the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Consider subscribing, becoming a channel member down below to help support the channel. And thank you very much. We'll see you on the next episode. All right, we got her all waxed up. She's good to go. Say good to go.